Beersheba, and many other places in between, from Shiloh to Megiddo to Jericho, all through Judea, Samaria, of course a little bit of Tel Aviv, and a lot of Jerusalem. It's a fantastic country. When I came here, I did not come as part of a tour. I actually hired a couple of drivers, Palestinian drivers, Arab drivers, so I could go everywhere in the whole country with no hassle. And I had the whole country to myself. There were no other tourists at many of these locations. I walked the walls of Jerusalem and I didn't see another tourist. I went to Jericho, not another tourist, and Megiddo and many other places. I was at Tel Beersheba on the Tel, and there was not another person, Israeli, American, European, around at all. I had the whole country to myself. And it was a fantastic introduction to your country. People would ask me, why are you here? And I said, well, look around you. The whole history of the world started right here, on this very ground that you're so lucky to be a part of. And they looked at me and they said, I wish more people thought like you thought, because this is what we believe. So it occurred to me that there were things that I could do to strengthen Israel. Now, I'm not Israeli. I'm a Californian from the United States, and I'm very proud of being from the United States. But the United States, in today's world, is still the largest partner of Israel. And it's my goal to make sure that we are the strongest partner of Israel, not just the largest. For the last 3 years, I've been very involved in many different pro-Israel organizations, over 15. All of the organizations that you might know, from AIPAC to American Friends of Likud, Republican Jewish Coalition, and the list goes on and on and on. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me just to go to events in California and New York City and Jerusalem and Washington, D.C. It wasn't enough for me to be friends with congressmen and senators and members of Knesset and ministers of Knesset. It wasn't enough just to give money and to show up. About 6 months ago, an office opened up in California. And it was the California Assembly, which in California is kind of like our Congress. California is the 9th largest economy in the world. In California, our economy is $1.9 trillion. That makes us larger than India, which is $1.7 trillion, and just a little bit smaller than Brazil, which is $2.1 trillion. We are a massive economy. Furthermore, we do a ton of business with Israel. We do it mainly in the high-tech sector. There's a huge cooperation between Silicon Valley and Tel Aviv. I want to expand this. I want to see this go down to Orange County, where we have much more high-tech, and San Diego, where we have biotech. So in Orange County, we have many different companies, such as Broadcom, which does high-tech electronics. In San Diego, we have many biotech companies. We also have cell phone companies, such as Qualcomm. The opportunity for partnership between the high-tech of Israel, centered in Tel Aviv, and California is just beginning to open up. And I want to be able to expand that. So 2 days ago, I just arrived. I came in for Mitt Romney's visit. He gave a great speech, I thought, last night, which I was at. And then again this morning, he made some fantastic comments about the strength and the vibrancy of the Israeli economy and how much support he has for Israel. And his support, he said, is not conditional. It's secure support, which means that it's not contingent upon Israel doing one thing or another. It means that Mitt Romney is here to support Israel regardless of what Israel decides to do and regardless of what Israel decides what is best for itself. Principally speaking about Iran, and if Israel decides that Iran needs to be attacked in order to keep Israel and the rest of the world safe, we will stand behind you. So I was here with about 25 other American leaders to express our support for Mitt Romney, to strengthen him in his resolve with the American-Israeli partnership. So he left this morning. I'll be staying here till Friday. On Friday, I have to go back to California and maintain my campaign to make sure I do get this office. But once I do, I'm looking forward to reaching out. 2 days ago, I was with the consul. We are getting a brand new consul general in San Francisco. His name is Andy David. He was previously in the embassy to Azerbaijan. He's also worked in our Chicago consulate, and he's got a lot of contacts with DC as well. he will now be the Israeli Consul General in San Francisco. And I will be working directly with him and the Consul General in Los Angeles, David Siegel, to enhance the Israeli-Californian partnership. And from there, we'll see where it takes us. So thank you so much for hosting. I really appreciate Narkis and everything she's done. Elon, you have a very beautiful house. And I'd like to leave you with two last notes. The first is, when I entered politics, I have a goal and a vision. I have a domestic vision. California has a lot of problems, very similar to the problems we have here in Israel. Very similar to the problems the United States is facing. We are gradually creeping towards socialism. Now, you started with socialism. We started on the opposite end of the spectrum. And you've seen our last 200 years. They've been phenomenal. They're to be envied and they're to be replicated. And we freely give away the formula and we encourage others to follow it because it leads to economic prosperity. Unfortunately, in California and in the United States, we've begun to go the other way, towards higher taxation, higher litigation, more regulation. I seek to reverse this course because it'll be better for the Californian economy, be better for the United States economy. And I would strengthen your resolve also the same work. I was just talking with Moses and his work in the Hebrew University. This is fantastic work. But there's something more important than this. Behind me is Temple Mount. And the reason that Narkis and I are such good friends is when we originally met, and I'm not sure what event it was at, but it was at some pro-Israel event. We met and we share a very... Okay, it was American Friends of Likud. We share a common philosophy, which is one Israel. Which is the reason that the Jewish people are here is not simply because the United Nations gave you a country. And the United States said, well, this is great, and all of the nations agreed. The reason that the Jewish people are back here, I believe, is because it's your destiny to be here. This is your land. This was your land by covenant. I think you have divine right to this land. I believe in the covenant. This is not simply cultural, legal, and historical. You have a divine right to this land, and you have a divine right to this whole land, which includes Judea and Samaria. So I spent the whole day today in Shiloh. I'll be spending much more time in Judea and Samaria for the rest of the week. And I would encourage everyone in this room that when you do achieve that political office that I know Emmanuel's running for now, Moshe you're running for, and there's a couple others that we have that are, if not running now, I'm sure potential to be running soon. Strengthen the resolve of your party. Because there's people in the Likud and in other parties that truly believe in one Israel. And they believe in the manifest destiny of Israel to reclaim all of the land. All of Eretz Israel, Malchut Israel, which includes Temple Mount, and the rebuilding of the third temple on Temple Mount. So yesterday was Tisha B'Av, and it was a day of fasting, it was a day of mourning, it was a day of commemoration. I didn't fast on Tisha B'Av. Now, I'm relatively observant. I consider myself Torah observant. I don't eat pork, I don't work on Saturdays. I fast on Yom Kippur, and I observe all the high holidays, okay? Furthermore, I give much more than 10%. But I don't celebrate Tisha B'Av, and I'll tell you why. To me, Tisha B'Av should not be a day of commemoration and mourning. It should be a day of celebration and productivity, where everyone gets together and says, we now have our land after 2,000 years. The days of mourning are now behind us. The days of building are ahead of us. Let's now figure out how we can go reclaim Temple Mount, to strengthen the resolve of our political leaders to annex Judea and Samaria, and attain this dream that has been given to us. So with that, I'll leave you. Thank you so much, and best of luck to all of you as well. We hope we come to visit the new president.